Drug addiction and violent crime are on the rise in Canada, and the government is doing everything to make it worse. Ladies and gents, welcome back. Scenes like these are becoming all too common in Canada, and while most people would say that it seems like the police are doing very little about it, and well, how much information do we actually know about what's going on with drug addiction and crime that's happening in our own country? Well, turn to your local media outlet, and well, you're probably not going to get a lot of the truth of what the core crux of the situation is. Now, I wanted to take the time to put this video out to talk about a recent documentary that just went out, and you really need to watch it. It's called Canada is Dying. It is a new documentary by filmmaker Gunn, and it gets to the root of what is the cause of a lot of these problems. This is the sequel to a movie called Vancouver is Dying, and we all heard about the drug addiction problem and crime problem in Vancouver, but this is spreading throughout Canada, and the reason stems a lot from public policy on these issues and how it's actually enabling these people to commit the crimes that they're committing. And not only that, this concept of safe supply. The safe supply sounds so good and humanitarian from its from just the language of it, but there's nothing safe about it, and that's what's really pointed out. And in fact, safe supply is just leading to enable the next generation of addicts to become addicted in the first place. Now, I'm going to show a series of clips from this movie, but my main purpose for this video is to encourage you to click the link in the description down below, watch the movie for yourself, and possibly share it out to other people that need to see this information, because our media industrial complex is not sharing this information out there, and this needs to be spread by word of mouth. Absolutely. So here's a couple of clips from the film. Let's just get right into it. This is about crime rising in Canada.
Problem has gotten so bad in British Columbia that the mayors of the 13 largest municipalities wrote to then Attorney General, now Premier David Eby, literally begging the government to do something. They shared data that showed just 207 of the most prolific offenders in the province were responsible for more than 11,000 negative interactions with police in the last year alone. A catalyst for surging crime and violence that has not been limited to large metropolitan cities like Vancouver, but has also affected much smaller municipalities, including Victoria, Kelowna, and the once peaceful Vancouver Island city of Nanaimo.
Recent numbers show severe crime up 44% here in Nanaimo.
I don't feel safe. It's the first time I carry a knife now.
I will pull this, and it's an alarm for me to feel safe. I don't feel safe in my neighborhood.
This is Kevin Shaw,
So this has been an ongoing debate, and we've heard it from Pierre Poilievre talking about the fact that so few criminals are committing so many crimes in Canada, and that this is an ongoing issue where people are being released immediately and then they go out to commit more crimes, and there's really just no incentive to stop committing crimes, and in fact they're creating an incentive to commit more crimes.
Some members of the community that shouldn't have the right to be out, they're just so highly violent. Their history shows that when they're released, they are going to commit serious violence towards the community. And by ignoring it, you're putting communities in harm's way.
To illustrate just how incomprehensible the situation has become, data from British Columbia shows that since the introduction of Bill C-75, judges even granted bail 75% of the time to individuals charged with committing a violent offense who were already out on bail for another criminal charge. The kind of brazen insanity that solicited the rare, nonpartisan rebuke from all 13 provincial and territorial premiers in the country in the form of a signed letter demanding changes addressed to Prime Minister Trudeau. But a closer look at cop killer Randall Mackenzie's bail application shows something else equally troubling. The judge acknowledged Mackenzie's record of violent crime, but decided to release him anyways due to his Indigenous identity. Part of a growing and controversial trend in Canada's justice system to weigh ethnicity and skin color against concerns of public safety. In Vancouver, police are now forced to take into account a suspect's ethnicity when deciding whether or not to handcuff them. While across BC...
So forget about woke, get woke, go broke. We're talking about get woke and people get hurt. This is really the situation here. Bail reforms have caused, the Trudeau bail reforms have caused the release of criminals back out onto the street constantly. We really need to have stronger tools for our judiciary to actually keep these criminals behind bars. Now, this isn't the only issue that stems from these problems. We're talking about drug addiction and the idea of this safe supply. This is the other side of the coin that the documentary talks about, and shows that the safe supply that's being given to these criminals or these addicts, paid for by the tax dollar, are going directly, not the drug addicts aren't taking them. They're selling them to get fentanyl. They're taking those drugs and they're selling them to kids.
Thanks to our own government introducing safe supply drugs like hydromorphone into street circulation, it has now never been cheaper or easier for children to get their hands on highly addictive and deadly opioids.
Are people using it, you think, even younger than grade 10?
I see 14 and 13-year-olds using hydromorphone. Like sometimes even 12-year-olds. It's like, I hate saying it out loud because it's like you almost don't want to believe it. Like, it doesn't seem real at all, but it's so real.
I am now seeing much younger people than I've ever seen in my life. I even had a 15-year-old patient who is in grade 9 tell me he started when he was in elementary school.
And what kind of opioids are these?
It would have been Dilaudid.
At the direction of our federal government, hydromorphone has flooded our streets and into the pockets of our children.
So this is inexcusable. This is the whole idea of safe supply, and safe supply should not be passed off to create more addicts. And this is what is actually happening. This is the unintended consequences. This is the road to hell is paved with good intentions, where these aren't the right intentions. Now, the documentary here, it goes on to show that there are places in Canada that are pushing for good options for these problems, good solutions to these issues. And I'll just show you a clip here.
Facilities are large, high-capacity facilities.
This is in
where
Alberta,
clients can come and stay for up to a year at a time. It's individualized care with full medical services.
In the one in Rentier, it's 75 beds, 50 on the male side, 25 on the female side. It's separated. They've got separate kitchens, and people are going to be put through the work. They're going to do the therapy in the morning and chores in the afternoon, or vice versa. They're going to have to learn how to cook, learn how to take care of themselves, learn how to take care of the facility, learn how to do some community gardening. Maybe we'll end up seeing some kind of farmer's market there, and we'll be coaching people through how to develop the life skills so that they can get their individual agency back, and then setting them on a pathway where they can pay it forward and help others. I think that is a much more inspiring vision than simply watching people slowly killing themselves, which is, I think, what the alternative approach has been. We won't give up on people.
And they are healing communities. But things are done in groups, right? And they live a very structured day. In contrast to the pure housing model, where people come in and they get a hotel room and that they can continue to use drugs in their hotel room, and there's no structure to that. I would say that can be very dangerous. And 75% of fatal overdoses occur at home on the living room floor. So if you're giving somebody a living room floor and you are allowing them to continue using drugs in your facility, the chances are you're probably going to find somebody dead.
Instead.
So again, in Vancouver, they're giving people hotels. They're actually facilitating crack houses. You could just go buy your illicit drugs, take them in a facility that you have every right to go into because it's government run, and then you go to your hotel room that's paid for from the government. And this is called enabling, and this is the policy that's been going on in British Columbia here that the film introduces and shows to you exactly what's happening. Now, I just really want to, again, the point of this video is not to show you enough of the documentary that you're satisfied. No, it's to entice you to actually go watch the documentary yourself. Again, the link will be in the description down below. You can go watch Canada is Dying. This is on Aaron Gunn's YouTube channel. He's a journalist, and he's been making hard-hitting documentaries like this for some time. And I would encourage you to also go follow him on social media. If you're on Twitter, this is where I follow him. Go out and do that. But of course, the link will be in the description down below. And I'd love for you guys to go over, check it out. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know if you've watched this, if you've seen it, if you're sharing it out. And, well, just what you think of this whole concept in general. But anyway, I'm going to put this out there. Please share the video. Please share this documentary. Get it out there. Get the word out. And we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.